Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. Even though I know this is Gatorade, I did kick my own ass before doing this particular video I got cleaned up, but you know what I mean. We're going to that horrible world known as the Agape boarding school, but before we do, a few disclaimers. In the description box, you are going to see the links to the articles we have thus far gone through on this channel in regards to the Agape boarding school cases. 19 of them, and counting. In regards to the abuse, torture, and sexual abuse of at-risk boys at the Agape boarding school. Please go to those links. You're also going to find the change.org petition to get this place closed the hell down. You're also going to see the links to the Stop the Shocks campaign as well, including Autistic Koya's massive archive on the subject, the templates, and the other change.org self-explanatory change Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. These schools that prey at those of us with mental health issues and with disabilities, and the things they get away with, folks, it's horrifying. It's absolutely horrifying. And if I'm going to be the only channel that covers what's going on in these places, so be it. Please go to these links, sign petitions, share on social media, talk to people about these places, okay? It is fucking unacceptable that in the year of 2022, these places still exist. Alright? Now, we are going to one of my local papers. Fuck it, I don't care if I dox myself. Come at me, bruh. I don't give a shit. If you can tell I'm angry, yes, I'm fucking furious. If that's not apparent. But this is from my local area, from the news leader. Remember, guys, this school is not far from me at all. This is one of the reasons I wish to God they'd figure out what was wrong with my legs and stop the spasms so I would be able to drive, because I'd be at their fucking doorstep. Every day. Just saying. Missouri, and this is, guys, from a year back, about September the 24th, 2021. It's by Gregory J. Holman. It says, Missouri Attorney General asks governor's permission to exit Agape's child abuse case, citing concerns about local prosecutor. Oh, for fuck's sake, what now? A simmering feud between Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt and the Cedar County prosecutor Ty Gaither over how to prosecute accusations of severe abuse at a Christian boys' reform school in Stockton took a new twist on Friday. I'm going to state this before we get into it. Can we not get fucking along long enough to shut these places down? This needs to be something that goes above politics and your personal grudges. Kids are getting abused. They're getting tortured. They're getting starved. Put aside your goddamn pettiness and focus on the goddamn task at hand. Goddamn. Moving on. Missouri's top law enforcer now wants Missouri Governor Mike Parson to give him permission to stop working the Agape boarding school case despite a March request by the Cedar County for help. In a letter sent this week to Parson, Schmidt's office recapped 7 months of back and forth between the state and local authorities over prosecuting defendants linked to the Agape boarding school in Stockton. Mr. Geither's decision to pursue a relatively small number of minor felony offenses reveals that he has no real need of expertise and resources of the Attorney General's office, Schmidt's letter to the governor said. Are you fucking kidding me? So you're just going to abandon these boys to be tortured and starved and abused and molested. You're just going to abandon them there in that hellhole. Because they won't work with me. Do your job, sir. Do your fucking job. These boys' lives are on the fucking line. And that is no understatement, folks. Those of us, especially us disabled, but pretty much everyone who goes through horrific shit like this, it fucks with us for the rest of our goddamn lives. It changes completely and utterly how we feel about the world. Majority of us have severe trust issues, anxiety issues, and hell, even paranoia issues for the rest of our goddamn lives. Some of us, it might cause an inability to be able to provide for ourselves. It can get that severe. We've lost folks to suicide due to the kind of shit that goes down at places like Agape and JRC. But your butt hurt because they won't help you, so you refuse to do your goddamn job? Unacceptable, Eric Schmidt. Attorney General Eric Schmidt, that is unfucking acceptable. Your job, what you are put in office to do, is to serve us. Period. Leaving those boys to suffer is not helping us. But I'll move further here. Gaither has indicated that he does not intend to seek justice for all of the 36 children who were allegedly victimized by 22 members of the Agape boarding school staff, the letter said. According to the letter, Gaither announced in a meeting with state government officials on August the 30th that he is only seeking charges against 7 defendants. The Kansas City Star reported 2 days later that Gaither told the newspaper defendants would receive 14 charges. Schmidt and Gaither are also in conflict, part because of the highest charge level against Agape defendants is to be third-degree assault, according to testaments by Gaither cited in the letter. So, instead of going over his head, which is your job, you're just going to abandon them. My God, my bar was low for you people, but goddamn. But Schmidt's office identified a bigger number of more serious charges as appropriate. The letter says that Schmidt pushed for 65 criminal counts against 22 Agape co-defendants after his team completed a months-long review of an investigation conducted with the help of the Missouri State Highway Patrol. The difference between the two camps is significant in the severity of the charges the Attorney General's office recommended versus what they say Gaither intends to file. Remember, there's some questions about Gaither as far as conflict of interest. So, Attorney General, why are we not looking into that? Why are we not looking into it? The recommendation from Schmidt's office includes charges of high-level child abuse that carried possible 15-year prison sentences, but they say Gaither's intent is to file Class E felony charges that are punishable by a maximum of 4 years behind bars. Schmidt's spokesperson, Chris Newell, declined to discuss the Agape case publicly, but provided the news leader with a copy of this letter. The news, which is, here. The news leader reached out to Gaither by phone and email for comment but did not hear back by press time. Why am I not surprised? Contacted by the newsletter, Parsons' office supplied a written statement through the spokesman Kelly Jones. On March 22, 2021, pursuant to the state statute and at the request of the local prosecuting attorney, Governor Parson appointed Attorney General to assist in the investigation and the prosecution of criminal defendants arising from the incidents at the Agape boarding school. On September 23, 2021, the Attorney General notified the Governor's office that their assistance was no longer needed in Cedar County in reference to these proceedings. Bullshit. You're abandoning them. You done the investigation. You've seen shit I haven't seen. And you are abandoning these victims. Really. My level of disgust in my local and my state authorities has reached brand new levels, folks. Brand new fucking levels. No charges against defendants linked to the controversial Christian boarding school appear to have been filed as of Friday afternoon, according to online court records. In recent times, 4 men who identified as former Agape students told the news leader they faced severe physical, emotional, and sexual abuse during their stay at the campus at the reform school. Agape bills itself as a 30-year-old Christian outfit that has helped thousands of troubled teens in part by showing God's love daily to these boys. If that's love, fucking shoot me. If that's what it's supposed to be, put a bullet in my head, because that would be fucking kinder than what they pull at places like this and the JRC. Their love is a kind of love that needs to be fucking killed with fire, alright? I'd rather be shot. But those who identify as abuse survivors see Agape differently, as would any rational human being with even a smidge of compassion. One of the former Agape students identified as John Doe 2 in court papers linked to a civil suit he filed against the school this year, said he lives with daily reminders of trauma caused by Agape. Sounds like Jennifer Masamba, doesn't it? You notice that these victims that talk, they tell the same stories. Jennifer Masamba, Andre McCollins, these folks that are coming forward about Agape, they all tell the same tale, don't they? Whether the schools defend themselves by wrapping themselves up with religion, whether they wrap themselves up with weird pseudoscience and weird utopian ideals, at the end of the day, the stories are the same, aren't they? Aren't they? There's no words to describe as bad as it was, Doe said in a newsletter report published September 16th. He was in survival mode while he was an Agape student from 2014 to 2016. And getting sexually assaulted there was probably one of the scariest things because that affects my life today. Doe said he barricades himself behind closed doors and does not feel comfortable hugging other people. I just don't trust people, the young man said. It's a mindset I built over the years of protecting myself, and I just can't trust people because of what happened at that school. On Thursday, 2 former Agape students told the news leader that they were in touch with the FBI regarding allegations of wrongdoing at Agape, though an FBI spokesperson said the Bureau could not confirm or deny that an inquiry was taking place. Oh, God, please. Fucking please. And FBI, while you're at it, investigate JRC, investigate Agape, investigate all these fucking crockpot schools that use like paper-thin excuses to basically torture people with mental health issues and disabilities. These places need to be closed down. We're not above resurrecting, close down the institutions movement, okay? Because that's what these places really are, folks. No matter what kind of shield they try to wrap themselves up in, this is the same exact shit as the age of institutions. They're institutions. They're not schools. Not to mention the fact that they wrap themselves up in religion, but they do not have appropriate people within that school to provide treatment for at-risk teens. Are you fucking kidding me right now? But with the power of God, how about the power of my mental health doctor? Okay? Don't get me wrong, I believe in God. I have since I was a kid. I'm not crazy evangelical anymore, but you get where I'm going here. Don't get me wrong. But mental health workers need to be in a school like this. It's almost like that Christian Science, we'll pray over him, but we won't take him to the doctor. Most nonsensical shit I've ever heard in my life. Folks, this is why, especially in this region, Christianity gets the rep that it does. Because you're committing atrocities like this and you're excusing it with religion. You know what I mean? And people get away with it. And they use two excuses: religion and treatment. They provide almost this absolute cult-like mentality. Us against them. We're the victims here. While they're committing atrocities and stripping people of their autonomy, their sense of safety, any form of privacy, any fucking sense of selves that we had before going into these hellholes get ripped the fuck away. Imagine being one of these kids. Imagine getting thrown into a place like this. And on that note, folks, I'm going to go ahead and close out. You are going to find the link to this article here in the description box. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. Please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this afternoon. As always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.